Hi, folks. This is Dr. Brent here, and I am providing you with the instructions for Social Work 671, Human Sexuality for the Social Work Professional, Week 4. That would be the sexual identity. Who am I as a sexual being? Who am I as a sexual being? So to start with, you are going to first watch this brief scenario. It's basically a guided imagery and just have a few moments to reflect on the first time. Maybe when did you know you were straight? Obviously, I'm going to be asking you to suspend assumptions about your sexual orientation and just watch the film. And then here's some questions to consider. They aren't questions that you need to write down anywhere, but I would like for you to ponder them a little bit. What's your reaction? How might your sexual orientation shape your world? How might this be a different experience for gender rather than orientation? And how might it be different for people of color? So just have a chance to explore that. Your assignments, as always, you're going to go to objectives, readings, and media to first and foremost kind of review the readings as well as the location of where you can find the videos required for this week. First assignment, week 4 discussion, getting called out. All right, and so this is really focusing on a social worker's ability to self-reflect and self-correct around one's biases, attitudes, and various value systems when working with clients from whom you are different, especially with regard to human sexuality. And so I'd like for you to watch the following video, the TED Talk, Eli Green, A Toolkit for Becoming a Transgendered Ally, and Getting Called Out and How to Respond. Both of them are in your Readings and Movies folder on the first page. And I want you to think about yourself as an ally to LGBT people. And maybe think about one time where maybe you've messed up at one point with a client or even just a friend regarding LGBT issues. If you don't have one of those experiences, try to imagine a scenario where a social worker might misstep in some way. And provide that kind of example here, just a description. So here's a great example. Doing therapy, I recall a time when seeing a 15-year-old feminine presenting adolescent referred to in the case file as Julie. Julie presented himself as a guy to me by going by the name of John. During the first session, I referred to John using a female pronoun, her. John bristled and explained brusquely, "I go by him, geez." So that's a really not so uncommon example of how a social worker might misstep or mess up around LGBT issues. So identify how that misstep happened and provide a sentence describing it, so maybe 2, and then identify what you might say in order to try to correct this. An apology, perhaps trying to make sure that assurance that you won't do so again to the best of your ability, and talk a little bit about your own use of self and some of the potential implications of those errors and corrective actions that they could have on the therapeutic alliance. And then with one other classmate, just follow up and answer the question, what sexual identity circles concepts were addressed in this scenario, and what do you think the implications are for the therapeutic alliance in a couple sentences. All right, that's the first assignment. Second, mini assignment, the alphabet soup of queerness. All right, so you're going to go to the videos folder and you're going to watch all of these videos. The Alphabet Soup of Queerness parts 1 and 2 are just about 15 minutes each. It's a PowerPoint with me walking you through the content and 2 short films on human sexuality is complicated and sexuality explained, understanding sexuality. And for this mini assignment, identify one thing you learned about orientation, one thing you learned about gender, and in at least 2 paragraphs describe potential practice implications for where this learning might be relevant to LGBT populations. And you're submitting it here accordingly. All right, the next mini assignment is mini assignment 3 or 2 actually of this week. Somewhere Over the Clinical Rainbow. Somewhere Over the Clinical Rainbow. Watch the film Trevor. It's a great film, 1996 Academy Award-winning short film of about 20 minutes. It's powerful, it's humorous, and Then read the case example, a gay youth comes out, and answer these questions in at least 2 sentences per question. Using the levels of response assessment tool, in which I present that in the PowerPoint alphabet soup of queerness, where does each of the family members fall and why, according to that particular, in terms of Trevor's family. And then using the OBI model, also from the PowerPoint, describe your assessment of Sean's orientation, identity, and behavior based on this scenario. So obviously Sean is the person highlighted in the case example, a gay youth comes out. And then you can use Trevor as a comparison and do a little comparison between Sean's experience and Trevor's and answer these questions accordingly. Again, this is just a submission. And lastly, you will be doing a mini assignment, Transcending the Clinical Rainbow, and you're going to watch the film Transforming Gender. That's a little bit longer, a little over a half hour, and then read the case example, Mickey comes out as trans, and similar to the last assignment, you're going to just answer these questions in relation to the film and the case example, 2 sentences per question. Lastly, very lastly, there is a mid-semester evaluation here. We think it's really important for folks to complete those, so please do. If you have any questions about any of these, feel free to send me an email. Thanks a lot.